You know, I think I've come to the realization that watching Eli Roths movies is like playing blackjack or just any gambling game in general. Is you think you have a good hand and then you start going through your hand and then you realize that it's not the best it could be, and then you're just gambling on these movies of whether or not you think they're going to be good. And then you just keep losing the game, but you still want to keep watching it. Hello everyone, it's Jake from Talk Too Much, and today I am happy to present my Eli Roth ranking. Now, I would still consider saying I am a fan of Eli Roth, despite what we have gotten over the weekend with Ice Cream Man and the negative reception that it has been receiving. I still do enjoy the man's work. I think he has a lot to contribute with horror. I think he has done a lot for the genre to where I can appreciate him for everything that he has put towards his craftsmanship. Now, Eli Roth, he's an interesting director because when he is running on his strengths, the movies are doing freaking phenomenal. When he runs on his weaknesses, though, they stick out like a sore thumb. So today, I'm here to show all 11 entries that Eli Roth has provided, including one of those 11 being a documentary, and just let you know what I think is the man's best film. Starting off with number 11, it's not really a horror take movie, but it is a movie that Eli Roth had his hands on, and it's called Borderlands. I never played the video game of Borderlands. I wasn't too crazy into it, and so I enjoyed the visual aspect of Borderlands. But my biggest problem with this movie is all the issues that Eli Roth has had his hands on with this movie, how it has gone back and forth between him as well as another director, and then he was left no choice but to have to finish the movie. It almost feels kind of wrong to have to include it on this list, but when it comes to the movie poster and the credits, his name is attached to it. What's so odd about this movie is you have a pretty solid cast, but just a point blank boring, bland story in which it's just painful to sit through. And I start to realize, like, watching it, I'm like, I don't even feel like Eli Roth had his hands on this project. And that's because he didn't. He was pretty much forced to do this. He didn't have a choice. He had to work on this project, and you can just tell when his absence is there. Next up on this list, we got number 10, and that's going to be the newest entry that just passed over the weekend, Ice Cream Man. Now, if you want to hear more about it, you can listen to my review about it, but pretty much keep it short and sweet. Ice Cream Man is a movie that is promising everything up front in the trailer and then fails to deliver at just about every single aspect outside of the trailer. The gore, it's very much of a big mixed bag. The script is probably one of the worst, I would say, that Eli Roth has ever written. I just expected him to write so much better from this, not from a little angsty 12-year-old writing. It's very disappointing. Can't give a rat's ass about any of these characters. And I would dare say it's not probably, it is in fact one of the most disappointing endings that he could have had for this type of movie, where I was just very let down by the end of it. Number 9, now you heard me mention earlier, he has a documentary, and that documentary is Finn. Finn, it goes here because I think it's a really cool documentary. I think it's cool to see sharks and all that kind of nature. I used to grow up watching that a lot whenever Shark Week would come on in my household. It was a big thing. We would all stay in tune, just watch all the cameras, watch everything swimming around. It was a great time with my family. So kind of going back to this, I have a little bit of nostalgia for those shark documentaries. And this is just Eli Roth's spin on it, where this is his project, but it's shot exactly like a documentary. Exactly what you expect. It's just Eli Roth is the name that is attached to it. Number 8, now this is a long title, so I hope I pronounce this correctly. The House with Clocks in the Wall. I'm fairly certain, if not, it will be corrected down here. Anyways, this is a nice little family film. I would say I was kind of shocked to see that Eli Roth, this was from him. This is outside of his horror territory once again, and it's a fine family trip. You got Jack Black in here, which is great. The only thing is, like, really when it comes to me remembering this movie, all I remember is that Jack Black is involved and it was fine. It wasn't harmful, But again, it's a family movie made by Eli Roth. So take that with what you will. Number 7, now we're going back to Eli's territory when it comes to his horror work. We have Hostel Part 2. Now, I'm not too crazy on Hostel just because to a degree, it can be just a little bit too much for me. I can't watch these kinds of movies on a constant rewatch and just feel okay after. This is like if you were to take a female version of the first Hostel, very much similar along the lines of Saw, but taking that and just making it a lot more extreme, in which it's fine. I can appreciate the craftsmanship that went into these scenes and all the practical effects. My only problem is it gets a little too real to the point where I'm just sitting there uncomfortable, dirty, and I feel like I watched a snuff film, and after I need to go watch something happy like Lion King just to cleanse my soul a little bit from what my eyes just witnessed. Number 6, which actually this may be an unpopular opinion, but I think this is one of Eli's funniest films, and it's called Knock Knock. Now this has Ana de Armas as well as John Wick, and no, this is not John Wick Ballerina. This is Keanu Reeves and Ana de Armas before that movie, which it's kind of interesting because they play as a love interest, sort of, where Keanu Reeves sends his family off on a trip. He stays at home to work on his everything. These two girls that were in the pouring rain, they approach his door and they're like, hey, we pretty much have no way of communicating. We have no way where we're going. It's pouring rain. Can we just stay here for the night? Keanu Reeves pretty much ends up having sex with both these girls, and then they torture him and blackmail him while he is trying to prevent any secrets getting out to his family about what he did that night. And while I think it's a clever concept, I just think this is some of the funniest lines I've ever heard Keanu Reeves say, to where rather than being horrified or thrilled in this thriller, I'm dying laughing hearing Keanu Reeves tied up yelling at these women about what they did to him. And it's just funny. It's so funny. I get a huge laugh out of it. That's why I have it here at number 6. I could easily rewatch this again. This is where the rewatchability just comes in, and I'm like, hey, you need a good comedy? Let me tell you about Knock Knock. Number 5, which again, we're approaching some unpopular opinions, but that's just because I have a lot of variety when it comes to Eli. I never was much of a hater on all of his movies, but I take them bit by bit. We have The Green Inferno. Now, this is a movie that has a great idea and is very much touching in the subject of cannibalism, which we don't get a lot of movies about that these days. Of course, you have the Cannibal Holocaust and movies like that. I don't dive into those kinds of movies, but this is Eli Roth's take on it, and I think it's very interesting. I do. The biggest thing that makes this movie shoot itself in the foot is just a simple dialogue, which that's the biggest weakness I have to give Eli Roth, is that his script writing is just a huge problem with him. I don't know what it is. He just always seemed to try and like stick these dumb comedic elements into some really horrific shit to the point where it just doesn't work for his movies, and it's kind of disappointing, and I hate saying that, but it's just not like the last thing I want to see while I'm watching a movie about these people potentially being cannibalized is either a jerk off joke or a diarrhea joke that is being made. That just, it doesn't land. It does not work for this movie. Number 4, now I would say from here up, these are easy, some of the best works in horror, some of Eli Roth's best films that he has ever made. And this is where you can really watch these 4 and say, okay, Eli Roth, he has talent. These are his massive strengths. This is what he can do, and you can applaud the man for it. So number 4, I have Hostel on here. Now, this movie, the way I view it is, say someone told you that they liked Saw. They thought that Saw was a good movie by James Wan, and they wanted something that was just a little bit stronger. Then you show them Hostel. And then that's when they say, what the hell is wrong with you? Why did you show that to me? That's what this is. It's a movie where it came out during the big torture porn kind of scenario where like Saw went all the way with its gore and its graphics. Hostel did the same thing too. And it's very much a dark, bleak movie, and it's fine. I don't have a problem with many of Eli Roth's movies when they are set like that. My biggest problem, though, is that it hurts the rewatchability for me. I can't do dark, depraved, sad movies 24/7. I need happiness. I need a little bit of a happy ending. This movie, it has some fun jokes with these guys that are out in Europe. They're having a fun time, and they try to go somewhere that they think it's going to be well, and the next thing you know, they all get kidnapped. They're getting tortured. They're pretty much like, oh, you Americans thought you were going to get these nice women and everything. No, you're going to get tortured in like the worst ways possible. And these rich people, they pay big money to be able to take out everything on others that are kidnapped. And I think it's an interesting story. I think I have a lot of props to give for Eli for being brave and bold with this movie. It's just it's too sadistic to the point where I can't rewatch this one on the constant loop, and that ending with the train haunts me in my nightmares, to be quite honest with you. Number 3. Now, did you ever wonder what Eli Roth's spin in action would be? Let me tell you about the remake of Death Wish with Bruce Willis. Now, this movie was so much fun for me. This is one that I will constantly claim as his most underrated work, hands down. I even had the privilege of meeting him at a convention in February this year, and I even told him himself, I was like, dude, you have no idea how underrated I think Death Wish is. Hands down, I think it's so underappreciated in your catalog, and he was very thankful to hear that from me. And if you like Taken, but just say you wanted Bruce Willis instead of Liam Neeson, there you go. That's all you need. It's a great, fun film, and easily over the past several entries, at least the past 8 entries, hands down, this is the one that I'm most comfortable rewatching. And not just because of Bruce Willis, but it's got a great story to it. Of course, like I said, it's a remake, but it's a proper remake done well, where Bruce Willis's son or daughter gets kidnapped. He's having to protect her, and it has one of the best, oh, you have no idea who you're messing with moments at the end of this movie. Number 2, it's a movie we are all hoping for a sequel soon, and that would be Thanksgiving. Now, this movie, I went into it and I was like, okay, where are we going to go along with the whole Thanksgiving gimmick? Like, how is this all going to tie in? And you think it's about Thanksgiving, and it is. That's what the killer is, and that's what he does with the people and everything. But the best part about this is just the Black Friday chaos that comes with Thanksgiving. And I think it's utilized so well with this movie, where it's a Black Friday massacre. You know, people are died, and this pilgrim looking serial killer wants to get some revenge. And so this is a fun movie. I plan to make a November playlist around Thanksgiving and the holidays, and this is one I can easily throw on and just have a good laugh at and get a lot of enjoyment. It is a proper slasher done right that has been missing for the past couple of years. So I'm only hoping, Eli, please give us a sequel. This is what we want. We want another sequel to this. Please let us know when you can get the budget for it. But of course, my number 1, and probably will stay my number 1 for a while, as much as I did enjoy my number 2, I have Cabin Fever. I love this movie so much. This was one of my few introductions to horror, but not only that, horror comedy more in particular. I love the idea that went behind this movie. I think that the only thing that hurts this film is the script, which I understand it's early 2000s. It has not aged the best, but when it hits those comedic moments, it really hits for me. This is, I believe, Eli's debut film, and there is so much to be said about this. The practical effects look phenomenal. The infection spreading is just gnarly. It's gross, but it's really, really effective. It's just all these friends are staying at this cabin together. You know, this one guy who I believe is in the show Boy Meets World, Ryder Strong, he is trying to just confess to this girl while he's on break all his feelings, and just everything hits a fan for him, and you kind of feel bad. But once you watch how the infection has been spreading, how it like got into where it got, it's has some of the most gross effects, but so well earned with all that is happening. And this is a movie that has a proper ending that I feel like it's just very fitting for what it is going for. And so with that being said, my number one Eli Roth film, it's going to have to go to Cabin Fever. With all that being said, that's all 11 movies I have for Eli Roth ranked from worst to best. Let me know down below what you think his best movies are. Let me know what you think his worst movies are. I want to hear, do you think Cabin Fever deserves to be number one? Or do you think that Ice Cream Man is getting hated too much recently? Let me know down below, like, share, and I'll see you guys in the next video.